Hello everybody, welcome back to another video from Learning and Technology. Frank here. So I wanted to talk in this video a little bit about a tool that I use and a methodology that I use in order to rapidly develop course content so that I can really get to teaching very quickly, get a lot of different thoughts together, make sure that I'm getting all the elements in a learning plan and a lesson plan together, and do so as quickly as possible, but with efficiency and quality. And the tool that I want to demonstrate is a tool called Mind Manager, and the concept that I want to talk about is a concept called mind mapping. So back in the late 1980s, early 1990s, I discovered an author by the name of Tony Buzan. So Tony Buzan wrote a number of books, like speed reading books, really helped me learn how to get through a lot of material quite quickly, and that was probably the first book that I ever got from him. I also read other books like Use Your Head, which was really a lot about different study skills and different methodologies for memorization, basically different brain techniques that help you with memory and retention, those types of things. Memory-focused books such as Use Your Memory. That was a pretty good book that I enjoyed. Little memory techniques. And then he had some more general workbooks that he had as well. Make the Most of Your Mind was sort of a summation of a lot of his other works. There was a book on just mind mapping, but I think I've lent that to somebody, so don't have a copy of that. But Make the Most of Your Mind had some different topics in it. And then a workbook, The Brain User's Guide, which had worksheets and some different types of things that you would do in order to help you get through. And it had a mind map on the back, so that's your first look at a quick mind map. We'll go through a few more of those in a moment. So here's an example of a couple mind maps from one of the books. This book here is the Use Your Head book. And what he did is in the center of the book we have a couple of colorful mind maps that summarize some of the chapters in the book. And you can see that these ones were done by pen. So they were done by using a piece of paper. And using a piece of paper and just sort of drawing and writing out your thoughts in a mind map format. Now, with the mind map format, what you do is you begin with a central topic. So you'll have some sort of central topic that you want to work with. In my case, let's say I wanted to develop a course on data types. So I could go in and I could do data concepts or whatever it is that I wanted for my course title. And then as offshoots to that, what I would have is the different subject areas. So I would have, for example, maybe I'd have data types, and maybe I'd have something along the lines of locations of data. So I might have, for example, data sources, I might have open source, I might have different things in there, and then data types, CSV files. So you can see that I'm thinking non-linearly here. So I'm sort of all over the place. I can jump around, I can link thoughts together. If I have a thought that doesn't fit, I can put it somewhere else. I can add color and make it a little bit exciting, and the end result would be that I'd wind up with a mind map that would be something along these lines. And that mind map was just of chapter 4 of this particular book, and you can see more colorful ones based upon different subjects. You can shade them in, you can add color, you can add drawings if you happen to be artistically inclined. So you have a number of different options there. But let's have a look at doing this on a computer. So in this video, what I want to do is talk about how to use a tool called Mind Manager, which allows me to do mind mapping electronically on my computer. Over the years, I've tried different mind mapping programs, and I do tend to like MindJet's Mind Manager the best. There was another product before called NovaMind that I liked quite a bit, but I've subsequently, and I kind of used the two interchangeably, but now I use Mind Manager pretty extensively, and it really is my program of choice. So I've opened up MindJet's Mind Manager program, and there's a lot to this program. Obviously in this video I'm going to be limited in what I can show you, but I do encourage you to download a free trial and to play around with the program. What I'm going to show you here is I'm going to show you going in and creating a mind map for the purpose of developing a course, especially for remote delivery. If I have a look here, you can see there's a whole bunch of different templates that are provided. Some of them are really exciting. There's a cool Kanban board here and a lot of different ways of doing some cool diagrams. I'm going to do the radial map, which is my default template, and I'm going to create a new map. This is my mind map. And for someone like myself that, my handwriting isn't necessarily that great, or my drawing skills aren't necessarily that great. So for me, it's a really handy way to use a computer to do a lot of the visualization tasks that I'm not big on. So I'm just going to call this a course demo. So we'll call this course demo. And one of the nice things I like about this is I can go in and make a map. And we know that courses have module. So I'll just call this module 1. And underneath each module, I know that I'm going to want to have some objectives. So let's say for each module, I want to have different objectives. So I'm going to do objective 2, and we'll do objective 3. So you can see I'm very quickly getting these the structure of the course together. And underneath here, I'm actually going to go and delete that. I didn't want to put that in there. What I wanted to do is edit this one, and I want to go in and make that objective 1. And what's interesting here is I know that I have these objectives, and I know that also for each module that maybe what I want to do is I want to have a lecture, or I want to have maybe I want to follow a model like the BOPS model, or one of the various different teaching models that I have here. So I want to have a bridge in here. I want to have the statement of the objectives. So maybe what I'll do is I'll make this the objective statements. Objectives. And what I'll do, spell it correctly would be handy. So I'll go here and I'll just make this the objectives. So I'm just working on a keyboard and trying to record at the same time, so it's not smooth as it could be. So, but I know that I want to take these objectives, and I actually want to take those and make those part of the objectives portion of the course here. So I just go there and correct it. So you can see I can manipulate objects in here, and then what I want to do is maybe do a pre-assessment, and then I want to do a presentation of some sort of the knowledge. And then I want to go in and I want to do a post-assessment. Okay, and then underneath the post-assessment, then I want to do a summary. I want to make sure that the students are good in there. I didn't do pre-assess correctly, so I'll do pre-assess there. So you see I've got this structure in there. Maybe I want to make sure that for the presentation, I know that I'm going to be doing this online. I'm going to be doing this remote. So I'm just going to build this structure, and what's really neat about this is I can take this entire structure and I can copy it, call this module 2, and then what I can do is I can just come in here and I can paste all of those objects in there. So we go ahead and paste those in, take out that one subtopic item in there. So you can see that I can very quickly put together a structure here that I can then start using to build up my course. I can in fact take this entire element here if I wanted to, and just copy that entire element, come in here, paste it in. Of course you can do Control V, right? And change that to module 3. Now in my case then what I can do is come in after the fact, and I can say, maybe module 1 is going to be, come here and edit this, and concept of data types. So I want to do concept of data types in there, and for module 2 what I want to do is locating source data, and then I'm embarrassing myself with my spelling in this video, but that's okay. And I come in here and I'll call this one open source, or open sources of data. Open source data. And so I can then really start putting my plans together. Things that I can also do in here is I can add in a note. So you can attach, well, there's a lot of things you can do. I can add in notes where I can say underneath here, for lecturing, I can say, make sure to get students excited about the data. So I can go in there and I can get them excited about the data. And, can do all sorts of things, little demos, or, any notes to yourself on how you're going to bridge the information in. You can write out the objectives. And then there's a lot you can do. You can change the background if you want, and make it look nicer for you. You can insert images. If you go into, there's a little library on the side here of different things such as little library that you can add pictures in here if you want. Different types of, these are my actual pictures from my computer that I can add in. And then there's a whole bunch that they have, that they give you, for example, underneath holidays if you want to, I don't know, throw a cake in there. But the idea is that this allows you to very quickly build a outline for your course. What's also handy here, of course, you can put links in here, which is good for websites and such. And then what's really handy is you can go in and underneath here, you can take this mind map and you can export it out. You could give this as an overview for the students as is. It's a great visual way of doing things. You can also go in and view it, so you can walk through it as a show if you want to walk through the mind map. Again, I'm going through this pretty quickly just to give you a quick overview of how we can use the electronic mind mapping, but you can see how I was very quickly with this tool able to go in and build up the structure of a course, which I can then start filling in. And that's going to help me get my online course up and running a lot faster. One of the things that I also like underneath here is if I go into the main thing here, you can publish it out, you can share it out, you can create relationships between two things. So for example, maybe this objective relates to this objective. So you can go in here and you can say open source data. So you have objectives that are linked and related to each other. You can put tags on there so you can search quite easily in there. You can insert all sorts of things like dates, times, files, images, shapes. Underneath tasks, you can also use this for project management. So you can assign things in terms of priorities, things that are not done, things that are still in progress and such. If you go into the design, you can change sort of how it looks. One of the things I do find handy there is to balance out the map so that it actually centers the topic. And then you might have to adjust the relationships a little bit or move the language for the relationships. So you can have some options in terms of changing formats and such. The relationship itself, if you click on the relationship line, you can actually bring this out like this, sort of however you want to make this map look. You have a lot of customization options on there. You can also go into the format and change things like line colors, the width, the thickness of the lines. You can go in underneath advanced and you can actually put in some tools in here like smart rules and such. Again, we're getting a little bit more advanced when we're doing that. In terms of reviewing, you can go in and review the different elements of your map. You can view it. I already went in there in terms of the show. The show will just walk you through. So you can go in and look at different priorities that you have in here. So you can show those. And sorry, presentation, you can go in and show it as a PowerPoint. So you can actually break this and push the entire mind map out into a PowerPoint. You can do a walkthrough of it. You can also, if you go into File, you can go in and you can actually export the data out as a PowerPoint or as a Microsoft Word document, which can be handy. So if I export this out as a Word document, I'll just go in and I'll put this on my desktop and I'll just call it Map 1. So obviously you don't want to do that, but you can choose your indentation points and such. I'm just doing a very quick export. So I'm pushing it out to Microsoft Word, and that gives me a text-based outline of my course. So I went through that quite quickly, but we can see here how mind mapping, both on paper and then in an electronic format, really gives me the ability to very quickly develop the course that I'm interested in developing without having to think in a linear fashion. I was able to think sort of non-linear. I want to get these topics, but then I can organize them into that structured linear format for presentation and delivery. So I hope you found this video useful. I'll just pop into that Word document. I hope you found this video useful, and I hope that you will consider using mind mapping, whatever product that there's the Word document. I hope you will consider using mind mapping as a methodology for helping you develop your course quite quickly and for working with remote teaching. If you'd like to see more videos on mind mapping, let me know. I can do a whole bunch more and I can go a little bit slower onto some topics. I wanted to make this video not too terribly long, but I think I may have made it a bit long. But check out my other videos and I'll do some more videos on any topics that you might be interested in. Thanks again for watching. We'll talk to you soon.